Hello, and welcome to the podcast. This is the 5 Live Bears podcast, your number one podcast for NCAA March Madness. Woo! That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We are live streaming the game. We've got a Zion cam. We're ready to go. Charlie, your thoughts?
You're really excited about that. You were so excited about the Zion cam. I had to take one headphone off because you were screaming.
Sorry about that.
That's all right, brother.
I apologize to everybody in the car right now.
Hey, if you're excited about NCAA, God bless you.
Somebody just spilled their coffee listening to this podcast.
Whoa. Tim just
drilled
knocked
myself
us.
in the face with the microphone. We're off with the
Hey, at
bang.
least you didn't blow your shoe out.
Oh, that's a good joke for a
Ba-da-boom,
couple of us.
Thank
All right,
you.
well, anyways,
Guys, I had no clue the NCAA tournament was even going on until yesterday. I heard on the radio. That's how little Texas cares about.
Aaron, this is my shocked face all the way from Kentucky.
Well,
Wow,
you could
good
show it.
shock face.
It's on the. There you go.
Anyways,
He'll have to watch the YouTube on. He'll have to watch the YouTubes in 2 weeks to see it.
on the interwebs, you can go on to YouTube's. Anyways, welcome to
Can
the
you
show.
buy that at the Walmart?
That just sounds terrible.
Oh my gosh! Welcome to the show. We are glad you're here with us. Thank you for making us Louisville's best podcast, as voted by the people of Dixie Highway.
And the four of us in this room.
And the four of us in this room. Charlie, on the other hand, we're number 2 in his life.
Mm-hmm.
You know why, don't you? Because.
Crappy network TV.
Now, see, I got accused a couple weeks ago of pushing this one. Your all's
You pushed
more
it.
than ours.
I mean, we're not even a minute into the podcast, and you're already pushing it.
Yeah,
Again.
you must be getting paid more by that
Yeah.
podcast than this one.
Yeah.
Well, they don't expect as much because last night while they were recording it, I turned it on. Then I went and got me a pillow and laid there in the middle of the floor between them and watched the basketball tournament. And they didn't care. That was the cool part. They just rolled with it.
Did you lay on your stomach with your hands right here underneath your chin,
Like an
and
Olin Mills pose?
with your feet up in the air, kind of like kicking around?
Well, it was actually like you do when you're a little kid and you grab your pillow and you like laying on your
Oh,
stomach
yeah.
and you're holding your pillow like this
Yeah.
yeah,
and you're like sitting there.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Aaron, how are you, buddy?
I am doing swell. It's been a pretty good week.
What?
I know. I revisited some great films.
I bet he's got the red
Watched
shorts on.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Watched Infinity War yesterday. I may have snuck out to a theater to see a movie. We'll talk about that later.
What?
Oh, it's
Oh.
Aaron's
Oh.
keeping it
And,
under wraps.
That's
Oh,
a secret.
It's
but yeah,
Nancy
pretty good
Drew.
week. Yep. But yeah, Into
He's
the
the
Spider-Verse
only man in there.
is still Into the Spider-Verse has gone from being like my favorite comic movie to like one of my favorite movies of all time. It has left the comic list.
I'm going to watch it this weekend.
Oh.
And then I will let you know if Aaron is being truthful or not.
I've seen it. It's good.
I haven't got to see it yet because it hasn't come out on Prime yet for rent. It's
Right.
all this.
Peter
$19
B.
stuff.
Parker is the best Spider-Man in all.
He
of it.
is.
Anyways.
He's fantastic.
John, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. 1 week to spring break.
One
Hooray.
week till spring break.
Give us another
and
clap for that. There it is.
John is going to be
Oh.
headed out to Gatlinburg.
Cannot wait. It's almost time for spring break.
That's right.
I thought for sure you'd be going to Bowling Green.
Oh, Bowling Green. Yeah, we can do that too.
Bowling Green.
John has Bowling Green music, Aaron.
Greatest town on earth.
Greatest
have
town
to-
on earth.
You'll have to listen to the podcast just for John's.
Yes, because I will be in Bowling Green in April.
Oh, you will. So
Will be.
yeah,
Uh-oh.
well, I'll come down and root for you then.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah, that's our
I'm
new.
doing an autograph signing for the 5
That's
Live
right up
Bears.
there with the full Aaron montage
it's
that we
good.
have.
It's really good.
I did that because one of your friends is at work is always making fun of me because I like
Yes,
Bowling Green, so we
yes.
put that together. So
He listened to one of the podcasts and actually agreed with you on a point, and now he's confused in life. Like he's questioning everything. So, Charlie, how are you, sir?
Doing well, sir. Thank you for asking.
Charlie, by the way, Charlie's growing out his beard, and I was just commenting earlier. Charlie pulls off the shaved head, grown out beard look better than any man I know.
well, see, that's what he did to me last night. He was like, Charlie came over and cut my hair for me last night. He was
Oh.
like, we were talking a little bit about it. And he said, well, we could do what I do. I was like, well, if I could grow the full beard out, I would. I would have the beard and no hair.
Me
but
and you
I
have
can't do
that
it.
stringy facial hair.
Oh,
look.
man, I look like a walrus. It's just like these little strings coming out of my face.
Cuckoo-cuckoo.
Because you don't sit on the couch.
I had a little kid last summer at school. I walked in to get checked, and the child development center, and this little girl said, "What are all those strings hanging out of your face?"
I'm
and
a
I just-
doll.
and I-
I'm made of.
I just went home. I was like, sort of shaving. I was like, "That's it. I'm done."
Oh,
Done.
all right, Brian. Finally, how are you, sir?
I'm doing wonderful. Doing wonderful. Like I said, got an autograph signing in April.
Yeah.
I got to pay back my Aunt Becky for her loan to help get me into school. So
Yes, Brian unfortunately got kicked out of USC this week because his Aunt Becky was revealed.
It's because they had me on a disc golf scholarship, and it just didn't work out. So.
he was taking 3 hours a year.
Basically.
So
Basically.
let me open up with this question. Out of all the old school TGIF lineup, who do you think would most likely be in jail? It would not be Aunt Becky, in my opinion.
No.
See, I didn't think anybody off Full House would ever go to jail.
Uh-oh, Charlie's
Wait,
Hold on.
Cody from Step by Step was in jail for quite some time because he was out of his gourd.
He lost his mind.
On Oprah talking about how he's going to kill his wife straight from jail. Jeez Louise, I think that's a lot worse than Aunt Becky, but whatever.
Yeah.
Aunt Becky and Felicity Huffman.
Oprah had to give away cars the next week, so everybody forget about it.
That was years later that she
Oh,
gave away
she was
cars.
like, wow.
This
You
was when
get a car.
This is when she was still doing stuff that was trying to get more popular than Geraldo.
On that same vein, I was listening to a podcast a couple of weeks ago, and they had the guy on there, and he was talking to him, and all of a sudden he starts talking. He's like, "Yeah, there's some times when I just like to go out and serial kill people." And the guy who's doing the podcast is like,
Well, thanks.
Really?
Alrighty.
And we're going to end on that note.
Well, certain mattress.
Let me tell you about Sherry's Berry.
Casper.com.
Oh, man. Good stuff. All right. Well, I'll drop the TGIF joke. Sorry, I forgot about Step by Step.
The Code Man.
The Codester. Yeah. All right. Well, this about 2 weeks ago, Captain Marvel hit the theaters, and a couple of us have seen it. I know John has. I know I have. Aaron is mysteriously maybe have seen it, but Charlie and Brian have not. There's been a lot of mixed reviews. There's been a lot of conspiracy theories about whether theaters were bought out to boost tickets and different things like that. So we're going to give you our opinions of the movie. There are some already disagreements. So let's start off. I already know, John. Tell me your thoughts on Captain Marvel.
Well, but before we do that, this is a spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert, we are going to be spoiling Captain Marvel. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want to know it, it's your time to leave the podcast. We'll miss you, though.
Okay. See you later.
Brian gets him to leave.
All right, John.
Oh,
John,
my
John,
goodness.
John.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
So many wonderful things to say, huh, John?
I wish there was.
Oh.
Okay.
It's got a cat in it. How did they screw up a cat?
Goose.
Oh, they didn't script the cat. Now the cat is actually pretty cool.
There we go.
I do like the cat
One nice
in
thing.
it. Okay, let me just start off with this. Is that so everybody, because I know the way it always goes on these type things. Well, it's one of these movies that for some odd reason, and it shouldn't be, but it is. It's politically charged. It's like Black Panther was, and except it's just the other way. And in this one, if you don't like it, then you're totally anti-female woman and everything. Well, I went to see it because I have a 15-year-old daughter, and I'm total girl power. Okay, all the way. I've said that many times just to lay that out there. So I want her to have strong female.
Hashtag girl power.
I want her to have strong female leads in superhero movies.
Hashtag Johnny Spice.
I want that in a movie. Okay, and all throughout Marvel, I have always been someone who has applauded all the female characters they have in it. Black Widow, the Wasp,
Scarlet Witch.
The entire cast, Pepper Potts, the entire cast of Black Panther, the guards are cool. All those characters are really cool. But the problem with this is, to me, is that they, first of all, it was really devoid in my opinion. It was really devoid of humor. It didn't have a lot of the Marvel humor, and then when it did have it in it, it was forced. I mean, a lot of the humor was just kind of forced on you at one point or another. Second of all, they took a origin story, which, okay, it's well documented. I don't like origin stories. And they crammed it in on top of this Kree Skrull war thing.
Uh-huh.
And if you didn't know anything about Captain Marvel or the Kree or the Skrull, you were completely lost for about the first 45 to 50 minutes of this movie. And as much as I feel like I'm versed in the Marvel universe, the fact is, it's like with Iron Man or Captain America or Thor or even Guardians of the Galaxy, these are pick up and go movies. You just picked up and went with it. And you were comfortable watching it even if you didn't know that much about the characters. I didn't know that much about Thor. I mean, I really didn't. Ant-Man and the Wasp, who knows anything about Ant-Man except Aaron? I mean, I didn't know anything. Or Charlie here. Okay. Everybody in the room but me. Okay. Everybody raises their hands.
Pretty awesome comic cover where Hawkeye is shooting an arrow and Ant-Man is shiny on the head of the arrow.
But-
and shoots him
but
across.
what- but
Super sweet.
But to make this short, is the fact is that they crammed 2 movies into the first 45 minutes of an origin story in this Kree Skrull War, which would have been a really good movie in and of itself. I didn't really think that she brought it to the character. I didn't really see it. I think there were other female leads that could have probably played that part that could have done it better. The last 25 minutes or so are really good, but it doesn't make up for like the first hour and a half of this thing. The age degeneration software they use on Samuel Jackson is really good. I mean, they're really starting to get there on it. So, I mean, a couple more years of that, and it's going to be really, really awesome the way they're going to be able to do some of these things. And that was pretty cool. Her powers are cool. But in my view, the thing about it is this movie, and I said this from the very beginning, it's going to be it was a throwaway movie. I was wrong in one part. I said, you're going to have to go see this because it's going to be an in-app purchase to see in-game.
It's really not.
And it wasn't. I mean, you can completely avoid this movie and still get everything you need out of in-game. It has no connections to it whatsoever. They throw in this end credit scene, but still even
It's
that
on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube,
yeah.
and you don't even have to see it. So I was this is one of them that I was incredibly disappointed in, and it has nothing to do with female lead actors in it. Wonder Woman was incredibly awesome. That was a great movie. I think I could have got behind a Black Widow movie, things of that nature. So this one just didn't. The story was just kind of like, okay, here it is. We're throwing it out there. It reminded me a lot of Captain America: The First Avenger.
Yep.
The way it was just kind of this. Okay, we got to make this so we can put her into the MCU, which they could have done without. Just like they did with Spider-Man. They put him in Civil War, and there he is. Same thing I think about Ant-Man. They could have done the same thing with Ant-Man, put him in, and then they could have had an Ant-Man movie afterwards that's not an origin story. But overall, it's a bottom 3 Marvel movie for me.
So I went in with very low expectations just because I thought I wasn't blown away by the trailers. I don't think it was great, but I think it was good. Like it would be like a 6 out of 10 for me type movie where I do agree the first half of the movie is kind of confusing. Like you're not sure exactly what's going on. They don't really give you a lot of background, and it's that part is not great. But from the part where they get to the Air Force Base for me, John, from the Air Force Base on, I really enjoyed it. I thought Samuel L. Jackson was fantastic in it. I thought he was great. I thought the Skrulls, especially the main one, the actors, the guy from Rogue One.
Oh, he was amazing.
Great. The Skrull was great. The reveal about them was great. And just his in the way like their fear of the cat. That's not a goose. That's a flurkin or whatever.
Yeah, whatever they were calling it.
Yeah.
And it was which was really a good hook because they kept coming back to it over and over. And you're like, what is wrong with this cat? Yeah. And Samuel Jackson's like, it's just a cat.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's a
And Samuel
flurkin.
Jackson like loves the cat. And so spoiler alert, the reason Samuel Jackson loses his eye is because of the cat. The cat's an alien. And it scratches his eye later, and he's like, "Oh, that'll be all right." And all the Skrulls just look at him, and they're like, "Nope, it won't."
No, it's and the scene with him and Coulson at the end where he brings in the big box of eyes.
Yes,
he's like, "Is it true that you lost your eye when the Skrulls were holding you hostage and they were trying to get the information out?" And he's like, "I'm not going to confirm or deny that."
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool.
I thought Jude Law was kind of weak. Like I thought their final battle was just kind of like, eh. I did enjoy the part at the end where she's having the final battle with all of them and they start playing No Doubts, I'm Just a Girl. That was fun and well done. So I like that.
Well, and that's the thing about it, like you're talking about when they got to the Air Force Base from that point on. Okay, once you got to that, it was a completely different movie. It was more along in the Marvel line. But by that point, I was already like, Susie was asleep. Okay, the one person that this was supposed to be geared toward, young women, between the ages of 12 and whatever. Those are the ones that are supposed to be connecting with this. Carla gets up and goes and gets popcorn halfway through it. And I hear this noise, look over, and Susie's wrapped up in a ball in the chair. And she's like, she took an hour and 20-minute nap during this movie. And I said, wake up, you're going to miss this. And she was like, what? I'm not missing anything. And I was like, but this is supposed to be for you. She's like, no.
So for me, I came in with low expectations, and it surprised me. I thought it had some good humorous moments. I do think that they maybe could have casted it better with her. There were parts where, like, she's just supremely confident in the movie, and at no point did I feel like she was going to fail. Like, I didn't have that feeling in other Marvel movies, like where there's like a turning point. Like, I didn't feel like that was ever in this movie. Well, so that kind of bugged me a little bit.
The thing that I was waiting for, and I guess this is what made me so disappointed in it is because they have this, and and I think they missed the mark on this. Is the fact is at the beginning they show where they go to that world and they have
Yep.
the
big-
Krill commando unit that she's part of,
Yeah.
and then they have the accusers show up,
Right.
and they're bombing it. And I thought, man, this is cool because it's got the accusers in it. So what I was expecting at the end of this movie was to have this, or even at the center of the movie, where she goes to Earth and they send Ronan.
They did. They sent Ronan, but it was very.
Well, it was like, we'll be back because we're scared of her.
Yeah.
All
All right.
They went.
So let me do this. Aaron, did you see the movie?
I thought the female lead was extremely likable.
He's not
She
talking
kicked
about
a lot
this.
of butt. I
He's
thought
talking
the
about a
special
different
effects
He went solid,
were
yeah.
awesome.
Nancy
I thought the
Alita
villains
Battle
were
Angel.
great.
Did you see Alita Battle Angel?
I saw Alita Battle Angel, and it was freaking awesome.
Freaking awesome.
It was great.
Did
It
you
was a
love
great movie.
Casper Van Dien in it?
Oh my gosh, Aaron.
Yeah, it is fantastic. I took Jackson; he loved it.
I'm sure Jackson.
I'm
Susie
sure
would
Jackson.
love it. I'm telling you, Susie would love it. The Alita is very, very likable. She's like like an average teenage girl, but then it's like, oh wait, no, she actually
with
kicks
huge
butt.
eyes.
Yeah.
Monsters.
The only
eyes. She's got huge.
the only thing I did not like. There's the only thing I didn't like was it's kind of like the first half of the story. So the movie's kind of building, and it just ends. Like they're setting up a sequel, and I didn't like that. But other than that, it's probably an 8 out of 10 for me. It was a great film.
Congratulations, Aaron.
I really liked it, and everybody should go see it so we get a sequel to get the rest of the story.
All right, we'll jump right on. Shout out to all the listeners. Send out
No,
the
listen.
Aaron signal. Aaron
Just
seriously
hung
just,
up on
Aaron, I didn't hang up. I think Aaron just hung up on us.
Aaron was like,
I'm
Aaron
not-
just
I
said,
will not sit here and be berated for my love of anime.
Aaron just dropped the mic on us.
I am an adult
Hello?
male, and
I did not hang up on you. I swear. You
I
just
know I dropped the phone.
He got some hot.
he got
and
so
bothered.
excited. His hands are
I got so
shaking.
excited. I launched the phone across the room.
Oh my gosh.
He's like, and she had
it reminds me-
a sword, and she threw the sword. Oh man.
No, it's just been a while since I've seen an action movie that good. The action scenes are really, really well done.
Did you not
And,
watch
it's
it?
James Cameron.
Did you watch Thor?
I'm telling you, it's James Cameron and Rodriguez, and it's great. So go see it.
All right, Aaron. Thanks. So saying that, Brian, are you going to see Captain America? Oh, not Captain America. Are you going to
Yeah,
see
if it's Captain
Mar-
America, yes, I would go see
Captain
it.
Marvel?
I would like to.
Are you going to see Alita Battle Angel?
Well, now I need to because of Aaron's fabulous review. I mean, to get that excited over something.
bone throwing and all.
Yeah, got all shaky through his phone.
Yeah.
Charlie, you
I
going
mean, I
to
don't
see,
see Aaron
you
that
going to
way.
see Captain Marvel?
Probably not. Maybe when it comes out on
Yeah.
demand.
I'll say this. John nailed it. You don't have to see Captain Marvel
If you don't
to
have
see
to.
the next Infinity War movie. In-game. Because
It might be like we have with me with Thor. Like when the third Captain Marvel comes out, I might be interested to see it. Then I'll have to go back and watch 1 and 2.
Right.
Well, and the thing it was me was I did not, like you said, you went in with low expectations. I went in with zero expectations for it, and I'm not talking about like I was like, oh, I think I'm going to really like. I hope I really like it. I didn't think I was going to like this movie from the very beginning. It just did not seem like something that was going to strike me.
Mm-hmm. And it didn't.
It didn't make. I guess because I have zero connection with that character.
Sure.
And I read some of the Guardians of the Galaxy comics, and she shows up in the Guardians of the Galaxy comics. She's a cool character and all that type of stuff, but she's still to me is just kind of a B-level character that you see
Yeah.
like in and out.
This was a Phase 1 Marvel movie for me.
Yeah, I
It
will agree
was.
with that. It
Yeah.
definitely was that.
So in Captain Marvel, was there any reference at all to the Adam
So-
Warlock at all?
No.
There's
So here's
nothing.
all you need to know. Samuel L. Jackson has a pager, and she soups it up so that he can page her if she needs him or if he needs her. She leaves at the end to help the Skrulls find a new planet, and at the very end, it's the Avengers base now after Infinity War. They have the pager there trying to figure out what's going on with it, and it turns off.
Right.
And they're like, "What's going on? What's going on? What? Get it back on." If Samuel Jackson or if Nick Fury set this off, there's a reason for it. And they turn around and she's there, and she's like, "Where's Fury?"
Yeah.
That's
I
it.
did read one article though that said that something about him using that pager that he had used it before. Because somebody was saying, well, if he had that pager, why didn't he pager for the Battle of New York? And it was like, apparently she told him at some point in time, like, only page me when you need me.
I don't know.
And then, so therefore, like, he's like, oh, crap, half the world's fading away. We need you now. That's why she showed up for this, but not for the Battle of
I
New
don't know.
York.
They don't really go in any high detail like that. So,
okay.
John, let me tell you this: out of 10, what would you give it?
It's a bottom 3 Marvel movie for me. Being it's Marvel, I like to support Marvel.
Yeah.
Girl power thing aside, I'm all for that. But the fact is just the story was weak. I'm gonna give it like a 3.
Okay. I say about a 6.5. Go see it for the Skrulls. They were great.
Scrolls were good.
And Samuel L. Jackson is great as Nick Fury, and she's got some good moments, although not all the time. So I liked it. So all right, next thing we're gonna move on to. Marvel also announced. Aaron, you're gonna have to help me with this. They came out with they're gonna do a What If series. Aaron, is that right?
Yeah, the plan is to have an animated series on Disney Plus streaming, and the rumor is that they will have the voice cast from the movies, for their characters in the cartoons.
So kind of explain what If is, Aaron.
So there's a character called the Watcher, which was in, I guess, Guardians 2?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's that big bald guy that was talking to Stan Lee.
Yeah.
And basically he sees everything. He sees our reality and all other realities. So there was a comic series where it was like, what if Spider-Man had saved his Uncle Ben? So then it would tell you that story, like here's an alternate reality where this happened. So, we could get what if Winter Soldier had killed Tony and Tony's parents, or whatever. And so here's that story.
What if
So,
Frank Castle had gotten the alien symbiote?
Yes. That's a great comic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, you're pretty familiar with the What Ifs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any other ones like that you liked that stand out to you?
There was one that was comical. I can't remember what it was now, but it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And a few it was called What the, and then it had just like the exclamation point and
yes.
question mark and pound sign. It was, I can't remember what
Didn't Mad Comics or whatever rip off What If and made What Those, and that's how we got
No,
Spider-Man?
that was Marvel
Mhm.
making fun of their own comic book with What the.
Oh, okay.
But Spider-Ham was around before What the. Spider-Ham
Okay.
has been around since 80s, 70s, I don't know.
So saying that, I'll give this a chance, especially if they have some really good storylines, and especially because the other Marvel animated series coming out on Hulu do not appeal to me at all. So, John, will you give this a chance?
What's that?
The What If series on Disney.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking
Yeah,
at the box
you
office.
were being John.
Sorry, my bad.
Wow.
No, probably not.
Okay.
It's probably not in my wheelhouse.
Okay.
I
Charlie?
heard what you're talking about. I just kind of
That's all right.
zoned out.
Charlie, you going to check this out?
I can't wait for it. Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be interesting.
I think it would be good to see. Brian, checking this out?
Yep.
Brian came up with his own What If beforehand, Aaron. Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
I don't know the net character's name.
Black Bolt.
Black.
Oh no!
No, I'm already in trouble. I have to pass.
Okay.
Sorry.
Aaron. We'll have to tell you off air.
No, you can do it. You can
No,
go on.
no,
You
no,
can go on. You
no,
on.
no.
It's
It's better. It's better for the Patreon account.
We're
Go ahead.
freshmen. We're full of freshman humor here. We can.
It's better for the
sophomore
Patreon
humor.
account.
We can do it.
Go ahead,
All right.
Timmy.
Do you want me to say it for you, Brian?
No, go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Let's move on.
All right, Aaron. We'll be checking that out. One last thing here before we do the box office top 10. No, it's different. It's different.
Oh,
It's a different sound.
Yeah. We got other big news this week. We got the announcement that Danny Trejo is going to be playing Boots in the Dora the Explorer movie, which Aaron followed up by telling me that Benicio del Toro will be playing Swiper.
oh my gosh! Burn it down.
Shut it down.
So I don't know if you all
Why?
saw
Why?
a few years ago they did a College Humor Dora the Explorer movie, like it was made by Michael Bay, and it had like the girl
Explosions
from
every
Modern
2 seconds.
Family running around with like explosions and stuff. So I'm wondering what this movie's going to be.
Angelina Jolie is playing
No,
Dora.
it's the girl from Transformers Last Night. She's going to be Dora.
Oh, this movie's gonna be so bad.
I just have one question. Who was asking for this? Who was clamoring for Danny
So-
Trejo to be Boots off Dora the Explorer?
I'm really curious what the trailer is going to be because it comes out this weekend. Like is it going to be like a preschooler movie? Is this going to be like an action movie? Like is there going to be like an action scene and everybody's fighting and then all of a sudden she'll stop and look at the camera and go, do you see the fight scene? Can you click the bad guys?
Now, if they do that, I might be on board. But oh man, what a waste of time.
What in the world? So let us know your thoughts on Dora the Explorer.
We just gave ours.
We're going to close it out with a shorter podcast this week. John's going to give us the box office top 10 here in the last 4.5 minutes, and we'll call it a day.
We're under pressure. Number 10, Green Book, $1,258,795
Still need to
this
show
week.
you the Green Book song.
It's number 9, Aaron's new one, Alita, Battle Angel, $1,900,000.
Is that still in the top 10?
It's number 9. It's made, but it's only made $81 million. So
It's
with
made almost 400 million worldwide.
worldwide.
so
We're only looking at domestic here. So
Yeah.
he had to make sure we understood that.
Yeah.
It's made almost 400 million in China. Number 8, Lego Movie, Lego Movie 2, the second part is $2,150,000.
Good movie.
$101,000 overall, not too bad. Captive State, which I still want to see. I want to see that. $3,131,525 this week. That's number 7. Number 6, no Manchas Frida 2.
What?
I can't even read it. No Manchas Frida 2.
Buenos noches.
No Manchas.
No swiper?
Oh,
Swiper, no
Manchas
swiping.
Frida.
Just go on, John.
Okay.
You're-
Swiper, no
I'm
swiping.
sorry, I can't read it. $3,831,401. Tyler Perry's Medina Family Funeral. I got that one screwed up last week.
Funky Cool Medina.
$7,836,167. How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World at number 4, $9,277,310.
Charlie's been quiet the whole podcast, but he did that. He just brought it right there on
Number-
that one thing right there.
Number 3, 5 Feet Apart.
Oh, geez.
$13,109,000.
I'm wearing a Jughead T-shirt, and I'm exasperated by that film.
Oh my god.
$13 million though, $190,000. Number 2, Wonder Park, $15,853,646.
Is that Johnny Knoxville movie?
No.
That's
It's
something
an
else.
animated.
It's an
Action
animated.
Park. Oh, sorry.
And number 1, second week in a row, Captain Marvel. Now here's the big thing about it though: $67,988,103 for a gross
Only
total.
one person actually went to the theater to see it.
It's me.
Well, that's what's interesting about it, because $264,884,000 gross domestically, but it was a negative 55.7%
Big
change.
drop, big drop.
That's a huge drop in 1 week there for it. So, whatever.
It will be dethroned, I believe, next week.
This is the domestic box office take, top 10, March 15th.
I
through
do
17th,
believe it will be
2019.
dethroned by Jordan Peele's movie Us, which it looks very interesting.
That movie looks creepier and creepier every time I see it.
It looks like a lot of fun. But
I pulled an Arron and read the spoilers, and
did you?
yeah,
How'd you feel about it?
I don't want to see it now.
Like spoil it? Like made you like not like it, or spoiled it? Like
Like, wah, wah, wah.
That's it.
okay,
Oh.
okay,
Okay. You mean to tell me the thing that I thought it was already is what it is? Okay.
oh, okay, all right,
I mean, no offense to Mr. Peel, I still want to watch Twilight Zone.
Mr. Pugh.
Mr.
Twilight
Peel.
Zone looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
However, but I never saw
Get Out?
Get Out, so
So you know the Get Out spoiler. So you know this one. Do you feel like Get Out was better? The better twist?
yeah,
Okay.
I need to watch. I need to watch them both.
Okay. Creepiest part of Get Out is how the woman eats her cereal in the movie. Oh my gosh, there's a part in there. It is so creepy. Just that part, how she eats her cereal. I'm telling you.
She like,
No. I don't know. But anyways, thanks for checking out the podcast. Next week, we're going to be talking about a lot of Marvel. We're going to talk about Marvel Endgame. We're going to be talking about the Fox-Disney merger. And Aaron's going to be talking about Alita Battle Angel still. But as always...
well, hang on.
Oh.
I got one. I got asked for to do it this week, okay?
45
Sixth grade shout out. Do you learn, smart kids?
Do you learn, smart kids?
That's what you got to
All
tell
right,
them. That's what they want.
Sorry, Brent.
Wow. See you later, players.
Aaron,
Hey, Swiper won't be swiping no more. He dead, machete.
Oh, wow.
That's all.